Welcome, Modern Minutemen, and today we're going to be talking about one of my personal favorite things, and that is going to be the Franken-Gun. Let's get into it. So in this video, we'll be talking about what is the Franken-Gun, why you should have one, and then I'll show you my build. So let's get right on into that. So right off the bat, I love the Franken-Gun first and foremost because it's your baby. It's what you do. You make it. You don't buy it off a shelf. It is what you want it to be. And then let's talk about the definitions. So my definition personally of a Franken-Gun is going to be a gun that you make out of spare parts, just like how Frankenstein was made out of spare people that were dead. So what you got to do is you got to get a bunch of parts together, put them together, and then eventually it is a gun. A lot of people will confuse Franken-Gun with a Gucci gun. And a Gucci gun, in my definition, is if you were to buy, say, a BCM upper that was assembled and then you put it on a Daniel Defense lower or Radian lower, that's not a Franken-Gun in my opinion. That's just a Gucci gun because you took two good companies and put it together. A Franken-Gun is a gun that has no business being together, but you make it together because it's awesome and you get to make it whatever you want to be. So moving into the why you should have a Franken-Gun, we're going to list off a few examples of why you should have one. The first one is going to be learning. Right off the bat, I think this is a great way for you to learn how to build an AR and learn everything inside of it. You can just go buy an AR off the shelf. There's nothing wrong with that. And for home defense, whatever you want to your gun. But me personally, I do like to learn almost everything about everything that I have. I like to learn how it works, if it breaks, how I can fix it, and that way I can be self-sufficient. So I definitely think that learning is a huge aspect when you put together your own Franken-Gun and you get to learn what tools you need, which is very minimal. Anyway, I think all you need is going to be an armorer's wrench and some roll pins and a hammer, and that's about it. And then besides that, vise absolutely would help. I myself bought a little vise block that goes into the magwell of the AR, and that helps out a bunch. Moving on from learning to our next segment, which would definitely be fun. This is what I like to do in my spare time. This is what makes me happy in life. Hopefully you're like me, and that's what gets you going, gets you out of bed in the morning. So building Franken-Guns is one of the most exciting things for me. There's nothing I love more than looking in my parts bin and being like, I think I can get another AR out of this. And then I get super stoked. Even if I just have a leftover scope mount, just like, oh, dang it, gotta build another AR. Look at that, have a leftover part, can't have it just laying around. And then the next segment that we'll roll into would definitely be customization. So like I said, I just pick out of the parts kit and then, or not parts kit, I'll pick out of my bin of parts and then I'll start to get a rough idea of what I want it to be. Since it is your build, you get to control the final product. So specifically, I'll be talking more about this later, but this is more of a recce mid to long range sort of setup because of the optic and it's a 16-inch barrel, but we'll get into that later. But if you're starting with a stripped lower because of laws and ATF, you can build a pistol. So now I'm going to show you guys my Franken-Gun just so we can get a good overview of what I mean by Franken-Gun and just how none of this matches. So we're going to start at the rear and move to the front because I am a fan of the rear and because I like it thick. I got the SOP mod wide body stock from Bravo Company back here. I got the Bravo Company pistol grip. I don't know what mod it is. Like I said, this is a Franken-Gun, so I think I got this thing like probably 2 years ago, then just put it on here. It is going to be sitting on a Bushmaster lower. Up here I am going to have the Radian charging handle, the Raptor up here. This is the polymer edition, it's not the metal. And then which is going to lead into my Radian bolt carrier group. See. And I did get this for less than $100. This part was not just laying around. Then, moving on, more to the upper, I'm going to have a Vortex scope mount right here, which is the AR style for my 1-6. My 1-6 is going to be the primary arms ACSS Raptor reticle. I'm a big fan of this optic. It is going to be sitting, my upper here is going to be my Radical 16-inch upper. A lot of people are not fans of the Radical 16 upper just because it is a cheaper upper and it really doesn't have a great finish on it. I really don't care about the finish because like I said, this is a Franken-Gun. And I'm probably gonna spray paint it. And then as always, I'm a big fan of the BCM Vert grip. I have them on just about everything. And if not, it's the cat grip. Then moving on a little bit forward, I'm going to have the Streamlight with the pressure pad right up here. I'll probably take this off because of legal reasons. You can't hunt with white lights, so I'll just pop that sucker off. And then finally, I'm going to have the dead air flash hider right here at the tip. Let's see if I can use the force here and get my, oh my God. She knew I wanted her. I do have the Dead Air Sandman S. You will see the suppressor primarily in a lot of my videos just because they're heckin' expensive, and as you know, there's going to be wait times. So this is going to be the middle of the Dead Air Sandman family. There is the K, the S, and the L. This is the S right in the middle. I would like to have all of them, but monies. So let's just put that on there. I do have the chemo system. I'm a huge fan of the chemo system. Let's find my index point. See if we can get that in frame. It's just going to be a little notch, and then I personally did not put this muzzle device on. My buddy did it for me because he's awesome. And then, but I do have this muzzle device on a lot of my rifles. All you have to do, let's see if we can get this in frame, is put the, where the roll pin would go in here, so you can pin and weld this muzzle device on here. Say if you had a 14.5, because ATF again, thanks guys. But when you do that, you will be able to index your suppressor right at the top. I'm a big fan of that, just because I'm only OCD when it comes to guns. So let's get this in frame. Ooh. All right. So this is going to be my more recce build. Like I said, I'm a huge fan of it for right now. Ooh, almost forgot. I do have my Geisley 3-gun, or Geisley Super 3-gun. You can check me on that, whatever they call it. And I did put the spring in here, so it is about 3 pounds, 3.5 pounds of pull. It's a very light trigger. It is a flat trigger, and I'm a huge fan of it. Safety's on. Always have the safety on, kids. It does have a very, very positive and assisted reset. Obviously they did that intentionally, and I'm still a huge fan of that. That being said, because it's a very positive reset and it's very light, it is easy to accidentally double fire or bump fire this trigger. Ooh, careful with that word. It is very easy to accidentally let 2 off instead of 1. And then of course I put in my my Magpul bad lever on here. Some people aren't a fan of them. I am for this rifle. I have a lot of fun with it. And yeah, those are just the two things I forgot on here. So as you see, almost nothing on this rifle matches, but it does work. I've put about, excluding this bolt carrier group, because it was just the Radicals bolt carrier group in here, I've put about 700 realistic rounds, I don't want to lie, through this upper on this lower, and it has performed just fine. I've reached out to 100 yards for zeroing, and obviously I've been able to stack my shots. I'm not going to say that I was able to get sub MOA accuracy or anything like that, but for how cheap this gun is, it does run very well. That being said, I am excited to see how this bolt carrier group functions within this rifle. Like I said, I haven't shot through it a bunch, but more to come on that in the future. So just closing out, final thoughts. Like I said, none of this stuff matches. Does it work? Yes. Would I trust my life to it? That's not what I'm talking about. I'm using it for a coyote. So will I use it? Do I trust it to kill a coyote? Absolutely. And then, as I said before, not sub MOA accuracy. I'm using Wolf Gold 55 grain surplus ammunition. I'm a big fan of it. It's cheap and it's what I can get my hands on, but not nowadays because of today's nonsensory. But big fan of this build. Don't be afraid of the Franken-Gun build. Oh, it's not reliable enough. Oh, it's not good enough. That's on you, honestly, to an extent. So always just go for it. Why not? So guys, thank you for watching. Like and subscribe to the channel. If there's anything that you want us to do or want to fix in the comments, just let us know. And we'll do our best to get on that. As always, know your rights and stay safe out there.